Hello once again, and thank you for watching the RPG channel. And all my life, I can honestly say that there's two things that I've never really had. The first one is a girlfriend who is capable of anything remotely resembling anything close to human emotion, and the second is any feeling of sympathy for players who express this paranoia toward GM input, or as they like to call it, railroading. Now, at the crux of this those weren't words. At the crux of this issue is the fact that role-playing is, at its heart, a social activity. And as such, it is implied that there's going to be interaction with other people taking place, and anytime you have other people going on, there's the potential for conflict. I went over this in one of my other videos, but what I'm getting at here is that this issue is kind of divisive, but there's nothing really you can do about it, because as a GM, your answer is to make up some adventures, roll up some characters, and put your imaginary characters through your adventures as if they were real people, and you can happily while away several hours doing that. However, if you do that, then you're left with the knowledge that you just spent the entire night doing something that was supposed to be done with other people. But for players, there is hope, because there is a subset of role-playing games called GMless games. I don't even know if that's a real term. But anyway, in these games, everyone is a player and there's no one person actually running the game. And there's a lot of different games like this. There's a surprisingly large number of games that are like this, actually, once I started looking into it. And the one that most people have heard about is one called My Life with the Master, where the players take on the role of a hunchback-type assistant for a Dr. Frankenstein-ish master, and they will go out and run missions for their master. And I could be getting this wrong, but I believe that My Life with Master uses the same rule set as an earlier game called Nicotine Girls, but Nicotine Girls was cancelled because it was really just too depressing. So they changed the subject matter, kept the system, and then we get My Life with the Master. Once I was asking around for ideas, because I was thinking about running a World of Darkness game set in a hospital, it would be kind of like an episode of House, except you would be treating patients who had in some way encountered the supernatural, and the doctors would slowly put things together. And someone suggested that I just use My Life with the Master for a house-type game, and it would work perfectly fine with the players taking the role of the doctors on the show, working for the evil master, in this case, Dr. House. Regardless, another game that I'm aware of in this genre is one called Contenders, where all the players take on the role of boxers in a Rocky-style story arc or whatever, and you take your boxer through various fights and stuff like that. And the way these games typically work is there's some structure to what exactly your characters are able to do. So for instance, in Contender, everyone takes a turn and you can pick out what type scene you want your character to participate in. For instance, you could have a scene where your character is working, trying to make some money. You could have a scene where your character is fighting. I mean, he is a boxer. You could have a scene where your character is spending time with his significant other. Or you could take narrative control away from another player and tell them what's going to be happening to their character. How is that for irony? But anyway, these games are... It's an interesting subset of role-playing games, and I'm not really sure. It's like a niche within a niche, and I'm not sure if this is the kind of thing you might be interested in, but if it is, then I would definitely suggest looking into it. Like I said, there's a lot of these games out there. It's just that they don't get very much publicity in mainstream role-playing games. Like, how's that for an oxymoron? So, anyway, that's what's out there. look around for it if you want to check them out. And this has been James, and thank you very much for watching the RPG channel, and I will talk to you next time.
Oh god, what would be a good